please.
You can't call it. And I would just like to start off by echoing Deputy McGuinness's comments in relation to the foster parents and how they've been left behind in this budget. And much was made of the fact that they were getting a double payment for Christmas, but that really is a drop in the ocean compared to the costs that foster parents pay out in looking after and providing a very valuable service for the state. And I think that they should be recognised for that. And it's symptomatic that they haven't been. Minister, I want to just talk in general now just about what could change, rather than talk about specifics around the budget and that there. And I think the most disappointing about the budget was not the budget itself, as unimaginative and predictable as it was, but the complete lack of ambition and creativity brought forward by some of the opposition benches as well in response to the budget since Tuesday. It is clear that the government and some parties are tying themselves to arbitrary constraints determined by government, and the move to the centre by some parties in order to meet these arbitrary constraints is particularly disappointing. The reality is, if we are going to deliver change to this country so desperately we need to break down and restructure entire departments and entire systems. This is something that cannot be done bit by bit. It requires complete and total reform, right from local level to national level and all the way to the EU. In the time that I have today, I want to put forward an alternative for the people of Ireland, many of whom are disappointed with this year's budget and alternative budgets, and who are looking for more than a few one-off payments, meagre social welfare increases and low housing targets. People who are looking for a functioning society and to actually feel that they are living in this booming economy that they are told they are living in, but see absolutely no proof of. I think this needs to start at a local level. Article 28A of the Constitution outlines that the state recognises the role that local government plays in being a democratic representation of the local communities. However, it is vague in what its active purpose is and what powers it has. I propose that a key element of building a new foundation for Ireland will be to enact legislation to alter the current dynamic within our local governments. We have one of the weakest local government systems in the world. Within councils itself, councillors, the democratic representatives of local communities, hold very little decision-making power. Almost all key decisions are made by unelected officials. This needs to change, with the elected councillors being afforded more decision-making power. This would mean that local communities would have more say in the outcomes of local government decisions. We need to empower communities at a grassroots level, and I believe that overhauling the current local government system would encourage greater civic engagement. It is also important that local governments are given greater autonomy. Councils are best suited to make important decisions for local communities, not national governments. Areas such as rural development, housing and the arts should be the responsibility of councils. Issues such as MICA are better understood and could be better addressed by councils, and particularly councillors, had they had a bigger role in dealing with local issues. Additionally, it is naive to ignore the conversation of a United Ireland. Devolving more power from government to local government would allow each local authority area to maintain and address their respective needs and identities. This would allow for a smoother transition into United Ireland and would make the prospect far more attractive and accommodating for those who are nervous about the idea. And we need to be realistic about planning for this. This devolution of power needs to come hand in hand with the creation of a state-owned public services. This includes a state-owned construction company to ensure that housing needs are met, a state-owned energy company similar to the successful Norwegian model, a free universal childcare system such as in Finland, a free transport system such as in Luxembourg, and the creation of a fully functioning public healthcare system, starting with collaborating with Cuba to send doctors to Ireland to relieve current pressures on the health service, something that the government has continued to ignore. Allowing us to rebuild the health service, nationalising services like these will create skilled jobs, ample employment, aid the economy and the environment, provide better services for our disabled community, as well as all our citizens. It would allow Ireland to stand as an international model for other nations. In order for a totally new and nationalised system to work, we also need to completely overhaul our civil service and our departments. They are clearly inefficient and ineffective. Too much focus on budgets and not enough acknowledgement of the holistic nature of issues means that citizens trying to avail of services and support are left stranded. Take, for example, the Justice Department. There is an urgent need for greater independence for both the prison service and the Gardaí, but this cannot happen without significant structural change within the department and the civil service itself. This can't happen in a vacuum, however. Due to the interdepartmental nature of many issues, change needs to occur right across departments and right to the top as well. The Attorney-General holds a non-elected position that, according to the Constitution, is to be independent. But how can a person appointed by the Taoiseach, who has no obligation to publish or report the advice given to government, be independent? We need greater transparency applied to the Office of the Attorney-General for a start. In terms of industry issues, such as in fishing and agriculture, these need to be addressed not only at a national level but at the EU level too. Addressing issues within the fishing industry and establishing a new foundation for Ireland cannot occur, however, without a conversation around our sovereignty and our position within the EU. We recently saw a threat to our sovereignty posed by CETA, and many of the policies imposed on us through the EU in relation to fishing have caused stagnation and much harm on these sectors and on our agricultural and fishing communities. I believe that in order to ensure complete structural change, we need to reconsider our position within the EU. I'm not suggesting creating a position outside of it, but certainly renegotiating our position within it. In establishing our new place within Europe, it would also give us an opportunity to re-establish our neutrality and our place internationally. Protecting our neutrality allows Ireland to protect the oppressed, and that is priceless. Ireland could serve as an important link between Europe and the Third World. I was very disappointed when I discovered that the amount given to overseas aid outlined in Tuesday's budget wasn't as generous as it first seemed, given that it included money paid to hotels in Ireland that provide accommodation actually for asylum seekers. We need to do far better in terms of overseas development and our international obligations. This is my view for an alternative Ireland outside the arbitrary constraints that this government has led us to believe are immovable. An Ireland that is functioning and fair and a leader in terms of development, sustainability and equality. We are a nation capable of more than our previous governments have allowed us to believe, and the time is now for the foundation of that Ireland. Thank you.